Yo, what's up, YouTube? Just wanted to go over the 7.10 patch for Smite, the Trickster rework. So it's a Loki rework. I'm just gonna jump right in. This video's probably not gonna be edited just because I want to get it out to you guys as quick as possible. So any mess ups, it's probably gonna be a lot because I mess up a lot when I talk. But yeah, let's just jump right in. So Loki, yeah, everyone's complaining about Loki. Only Loki's like playing Loki. Everyone else in the game doesn't like when Loki's in the game. Basic attack damage on the initial hit from 80 to 100%. This is just a nice little revert. It used to be 100%, then they changed it back to 80 because he was abusing Hydras and his auto attack cancels were just insane. So this is just to bring him back in line. I don't think many other gods have this 80% to start. Most gods have 100%. Behind you, so it's the extra damage when you're behind someone. Additional interactions with Agonizing Visions and Flurry Strike. I'm assuming it's his two new abilities. Loki will not fade into stealth quickly rather than instantly, which is good. If Loki takes damage while stealth, he will now be revealed for a third of a second. The audio for the ability has been adjusted. Friendly Loki stealth is quieter, which is good. And laughter when it's an enemy Loki. So they just made this less of an annoying ability to deal with. This and Morgan just have very, very, very little counterplay until you get Erendite. So I'm all down for making stealth worse. Ao Kuang stealth is fine. Izanami stealth is fine. But Morgan and Loki had very, very problematic stealths. So I like this change. Hopefully they do something to Morgan stealth too. So Decoy is no longer an ability. Agonizing Visions. Loki summons a vision of his tortured past at a target location for 4 seconds. Enemies in range of the vision feel the poison themselves, taking damage and having their damage dealt reduced. So effect stacks up to 4 times, and an enemy gets 4 stacks to become blinded, allowing Loki to benefit from behind you. So it stacks up to 4 times. So it must be, it does 1 tick of damage every second. Maybe 1 when you place it immediately, so there's a little bit of burst element to it. And wait, this damage is trash. 13 damage? This is 52 damage. Scaling by 40%. This scaling is dreadful. This ability damage is dreadful. I don't know. Maybe the damage dealt is like something relevant. I wonder if this is 2.5 seconds and it refreshes every time you get it. So if you get that first tick, it's 5% less damage for 2.5 seconds. You get the second tick, it's 10% less than for another 2.5 seconds. Or if it just goes every time you hit it, it's only for 2.5. I just wonder how that works. It's still body blocks, which is nice. It's kind of like a cool skill thing you could do with Loki is get a nice decoy to body block people. Yeah, aim strike removed. Flurry strike. Loki unleashes a flurry of 5 daggers, striking quickly in front of him, damaging enemies. After this flurry, he winds up for a final heavy strike that deals higher damage and slows enemies' hit. This ability can benefit from behind you. I wonder how long the ability lasts. So it's 5 dagger strikes, and then he has 1 in front of him. Is it just based off your auto attack? Your attack speed? Because that would be horrible. If it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a big damage, it's actually a decent burst ability. 75 plus 40, 115 damage at level 1, which isn't bad. It actually scales by 135 also, I think. Yeah, I think 135, and then it slows for 3 seconds. I'm curious to see how this will work. I feel like his 2 is kind of trash, but maybe not. His 3 is kind of trash also, maybe. I don't know. They're kind of completely switching up how he's going to work. No longer is he single target. This is a team fight ability mostly. This is a team fight ability. This one can be 1v1, but this one can be 1v1 also, but I don't know. That's kind of weird. We'll see. Maybe his assassinate will combo with him. Undergone a heavy adjustment in its functionality. Upon activation, Loki teleports to his ground target location. If an enemy god is within the radius, Loki will slice that target, doing damage and crippling them for 1 second. After he teleports, he will wind up a heavier strike, damaging all enemies in front of him and stunning them. Okay. So he jumps to a target location, cripples who's ever in front of him, and say he jumps to like a carry in the backline, and he... I wonder how big that stun radius is. Because if he jumps to carry in the backline, he could get like a sick 5-man stun if they like turn to like peel for him. So the combo is probably going to be something like you 2, you ult, and then you flurry strike. I mean, that's a lot of team fight. That's a lot of team fight. That seems pretty strong. The damage is pretty, whatever, 125%, but it's... I'm pretty sure this is going to be AoE. This one is not AoE. So this damage is pretty good. He's got a... I'm excited to see how he works. He's way more team fight, way more potential in a 5v5. October is LGBT History Month. To commemorate, we are adding LGBT flags. 6 flags. Ha, 6 flags. Like the amusement park. Yeah. Nice inclusivity. UI. I don't really care for bug fixes. Game modes. Okay, so adding back Classic Joust for the 4th time in a year. 5% and 10% off your movement speed on Atalana's bow. And then nerfing Silver Branch also. This really isn't a huge nerf. 5% attack speed. It just hurts the Silver Branch bow. I don't know if these bows are getting abused a ton, but I think they were. So it's probably just to make Silver Branch a little worse. This movement speed is kind of whatever. I don't think that is going to be a big change. The attack speed is 5%. I don't think it's a huge change. Another 5% attack speed. Pretty meh. So if you do the same build, you lose 10% attack speed, and you lose 10% movement speed after a kill. I don't know. I don't think that's anything to write home about. Glide Shield rework, dude. I literally start spam building this item, and they're like, dude, Bobby was onto something. Like we gotta change it. Decrease cost. Okay, so they decrease the cost by 100. Passive, change damage dealt from 15 plus 2 per level to 15 plus 35% of your total protections from items magical and physical. From items magical and physical from items and abilities. Okay, so if you get prots from items and abilities, so this is like Ares 2, I guess, Sylvanas 2. Okay, so it's got to be a buff then. 50, so it's 15 flat, no matter what. This is plus 2 per level. So in the early game, it's going to be 35 damage at level 10. This, you're going to have, I don't know, maybe 100 prots around level 10. Maybe a little less. This is going to be about 50. So yeah, this is just outright a buff. You actually have to build prots if you're building this item now. Before you didn't have to. You just had to get levels. So this is a buff to like solo lane glads. I don't think glads in jungle is going to be very much a thing. And then the increased bonus damage activation threshold from 50 to 60. So the damage will just apply at a higher percentage now. So they buffed glads. Okay, remember when I said that they were nerfing it because I was abusing it? They're buffing it because nobody else is abusing it. Everybody else is just slow to get on the Glad Shield hype train. I've been on. OP item. But yeah, this is just a buff. I'm about to build this item in support. 2400 is a little expensive in support, but Emperor's Armor buff. Nice little 10 physical protections. The problem isn't this item isn't bad. I mean, the problem isn't this item is bad. There's better items. I don't know if this will change anything. It's really cheap, which is nice. Gives you health, prots, and it's cheap. The passive is good. Not great. So it's just kind of overall just a pretty average item. So I'm interested to see if anyone will start to build it. Maybe I'll give it a try a couple times. Nemean nerf. Extra 20 prots are required per block stack. Probably pretty good change. Nemean's kind of being abused, so that'll help tone down Nemean a bit. On her. Sleep is now quicker and he starts leaping more quickly. Okay, so you kind of got a Neath change. So the leap just going to feel less clunky. It's not going to be interrupted as much. You know the time when you try to jump with on her when you're getting gone on and you just hear him growling for like 5 seconds because he's trying to get his jump off? That's less likely to happen now, which is nice. And then the land time is a little bit quicker. The impale will come out after your jump. So the jump into stun combo will feel a little more crisp. Apollo. Okay, so it's the same thing. Travels the same distance and less time and starts traveling quicker. Okay, that's a nice change too. These are just older gods and their escapes just don't feel as good as new gods, basically. Like, just look at all, like, the new hunters. Like, look at Heim. Heim feels impossible to get out of that thing. He's always teleporting and it's just instant. And he moves across the map, and then it goes on cooldown for like 16 seconds. Ares. The Master of Arena continues to struggle in Conquest. Bolster Defense now provides HP 5 to himself and allies affected by the aura. That is an interesting change. They didn't buff damage on Ares. They buffed his utility. 10 HP 5 is not bad in the early game, and 30 HP 5 is pretty good late game. I'm interested to see how this helps Ares. Yeah, I'm excited to like see if Ares gets played. In solo, he's got a little bit of sustain now. In jungle, he's got a little bit of sustain. I don't know if he really had a problem with sustain in jungle, but in duo, when he's getting poked, he's now got sustain. I like that. Yeah, I really like that. RDO, increased energy surge. Oh, not her heal, dude. Not her heal. So instead of an 80 heal in the 2v2, it's now going to be a 120 heal in dual lane. 120 health. Oh, that is going to be a headache. That is a headache. So yeah, trading with this god in the 2v2 is going to be way, way harder. Maybe she comes out as a potential counter for some of the dash abusers like Sobek, Kuz. Kuz really can't kill her anymore, and she just sustains through his damage, and she'll just poke him down. Yeah, that might be just all RDO needs to get back into dual lane and become pretty strong. Baron. That's the buff. This is the Baron buff we went with. We decided 10% magical power scaling on the 1 is the entire reason Baron isn't played. This buffs Baron in mid mostly. So they're just going to keep buffing him until he can be played in mid. Okay, so this doesn't buff solo lane Baron at all, even though that's not very much played at all. And it is a tiny, tiny buff to Baron in mid. Okay. Fenrir. Unchained. Increased base damage. Up by 10. So this is a partial revert on Fenrir's change back when he is abused in duo lane. They changed the cooldown, how the cooldown worked, and then they changed the base damage by 20. It used to be 95 up to 335, and now it's just going to be put in the middle between those two. So it's just a 10% base buff. So it's a partial revert on the Fenrir nerf from a little while ago. And then Ragnarok, 75% movement speed. This dude's going to be a NASCAR. Don't you get double movement speed in your... Wait, if you have all your runes too? This guy's going to be like picking someone up and bringing them into a fountain. Like he's actually going to be whipping. Okay, I mean, it's a good buff. Fenrir is not good, so I'm down for any Fenrir buff. Any Fenrir buff. Eagle Eye, which is his 1. Increased bonus damage for under 55 range. And over 55 range. Have both... Oh, okay, so instead of them being different, it's now just 10 and it goes up 5 every level for both over and under the 55 range. That's a nice change. 30 damage instead of 15. So his damage late game over 55, he gets an extra 15 damage. Realistically, not the biggest change. I don't think it changes too much about Hachiman, so. Nice little buff for him. He wasn't strong at all, so he's a pretty average god. Osiris. Increased physical power scaling from 40 to 45%. 5% physical power scaling. Wow. Whew. Wow. That is... Wow. Clean. I don't know. This is not even anything. I would not even pay attention to this. This is nothing. Increase the max range of the leap from 55 to 65. Okay. Now that is a little bit of a buff. Osiris can now land on you outside of auto attack range. Okay, that's clean. I kind of like that. It's going to be weird to get used to. Osiris is going to be kind of jumping across the map. The Lord of the After, or the Lord of, I don't remember what his title is, but he's gonna be leaping a little bit. So cat buffs. Please be a buff to buff friend support. I want to play her again. Ambush? Yes. Yes. You know what Cat uses ambush for? Damage. All the time. This is huge. That is sarcasm. This is a pretty irrelevant buff. I don't know. 20%, which is a lot of percent, but it's on her only ability that you don't use for damage 90% of the time. You don't ambush onto someone. You just blink onto them. So, pretty irrelevant. Cobra's Kiss. Oh. Cooldown buff. That's not bad. That helps her in support. Helps her in jungle. Yeah, that'll make her feel a little bit better. 18-second cooldowns. It felt so long waiting for this. I like that, though. Colossal Fury decreased the movement speed penalty for attacking, backpedaling, and strafing by 20% while this ability is active. I'm pretty sure at this point, Vamana basically has hastened in his ultimate. He has less movement speed penalty when he's attacking, which is basically the biggest thing. And then he gets movement speed every time he autos someone in Colossal Fury. I don't even know if Vamana even needs like Frostbound or Hasten anymore. If you just get like one movement speed item on him, other than boots, he should be able to just keep up and stomp. If you just go like Toxic Blade or like Witchblade or Stone Cutting or literally any movement speed item, I don't think he even needs a Hastened or a Frostbound. That's interesting. I remember everyone always wanted Vamana's ult to just have Hastened, and they've kind of just like wrapped all the way around to it. He's kind of got it now. He'll be a little bit slower, obviously, from auto-attacking, but that's nice. This is a good patch. This is a really good patch. What was at the top? There's Loki rework's good. A little bit of a Hunter nerfs for items they were abusing. Nice. Glad Shield gets a nice little buff for solo lane. Emperors gets a nice little buff. A bunch of items that are just items and gods that just aren't played and aren't built. Just get little like nice buffs, like quality of life. I think this one will probably have the biggest impact on most things. That's a pretty big change, that heal. Everything else is just like nice little buffs across the map on gods that are just trash. This is a good patch. Wow, I'm impressed. This is like now 2 or 3 patches in a row where Hydra's just absolutely killed it. I don't hate anything in this patch. Yeah. All right. Well, that is patch, I think it's 7.10. Patch 7.10, the Trickster God. Hope you guys liked it. If you guys wouldn't mind following, subbing, so you guys can see when I post a video. Turn on that notification bell. If you guys have anything that you like about the patch, anything you didn't like about the patch, let me know in the comments. Yeah. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.